If you remember during the 1.2 story, we had to fight a cat Thyran named Pulchra. Well, now in the 1.6 update, she is the new A-rank agent you can get. Not only can you get your first copy for free with an event this update, but she also works extremely well with Soldier Zero s-anby. So if you've been looking for a guide on Pulchra, I got you. Let's not waste any time and dive right into it. Like I mentioned, you can get your first copy for free through the March on Tiny Titan event. This is the top-down combat event. The main thing with this event is that you actually use the trial characters provided for the stages, so you don't have to worry about having your characters up to a certain level to even attempt this activity, so it's very good for new players. And all you have to do to get your copy is just beat the stage Daylight Fantasy 2, and you can claim her. The only other way to get Pulchra at the moment is by either pulling on Soldier Zero s-anby or Bernice's banners because she has a higher drop chance. Also take note, if you pull on the limited engine banners as well, her engine actually has a higher drop rate too. After these banners are over, she will enter the general pool with all the other A-rank characters, so no matter what banner you pull on, you have a chance to get her. Now getting into the strengths, first up, she can inflict Daze off field with her Aftershock attacks. Again, you've seen this Aftershock as a part of Soldier Zero s-anby and Trigger's kit as well. So these three characters are going to work extremely well together, and Trigger will also have her own off-field, Daze that she can inflict as well, which is going to be pretty cool. And secondly, she can be used with any attack agent. Just as a quick overview, Pulchra is a physical stun character under the Sons of Caledon faction with having higher stats in impact, crit rate, and crit damage. And here are all the materials you're going to need to get her up to max level. For the stun chips, you're going to have to come under combat simulation, go under agent promotion, and then do the stun drill. For what skills prioritize upgrading first on Pulchra, definitely her core skills. These are going to play a huge part in her kit. After that, I would definitely do her special attack. The assist and the chain attack ultimate are kind of tied. And then lastly, your basic attack and dodge. And here are all the materials you're going to need to upgrade all of these skills. For the physical chips, come back under combat simulation, go under agent skill, and then do the rigidity test. Wow, that is a mouthful right there. For your A-rank upgrade material, come under Expert Challenge, and we're going to have to fight Doppelganger Jane, or as I like to call her, Shadow Jane, for her Stealth Phantom material. Now, what's cool with the 1.6 update is that they added what's called Burnout to the Expert Challenge, where if you're willing to spend double the battery charge, you can get double the drops for the limited characters this time around. And since Bernice needs this material, it kind of works out if you're trying to upgrade Pulchra as well. For your S-rank material, come under Notorious Hunt, and we're going to have to fight the Corrupted Overlord Pompeii. Again, this is the one from the 1.2 update for the Scarlet Engine. To have Pulchra stun the enemy faster and have that off-field damage, we need to understand exactly how her kit works. The first thing we need to talk about is under her core passive, Hunter's Instinct. When Pulchra activates an X special attack, an assist follow-up, the chain attack, or an ultimate, she enters what's called the Hunter's Gait state, which increases the days she deals by 30% for 6 seconds. As you can see under her character icon, after you perform one of these attacks, those triangles will fill up. Also, after one of these attacks hits a target, she can trigger a quick assist to the previous character in the squad, and she'll stay in the Hunter's Gait state until she switches back in. You really don't need to focus on using the special attack when you don't have energy. Yes, you'll deal some physical damage, but the main thing is the X special attack, Rending Claw Flash Step. With enough energy, you can press the special attack button, you'll pierce back and forth, dealing massive physical damage, and that'll trigger the quick assist. Same thing with the assist follow-up. Again, Pulchra has an evasive assist, not a defense assist, so when a target is doing a blockable attack and you switch to Pulchra, she'll perform, the little time stop with Vital View, and then as long as you press your basic attack button after you do this, you'll perform the assist follow-up, which will trigger the quick assist. For the chain attack, again, you can only proc this when the target is stunned, but if you hit a target during the chain attack, she will get full stacks of Hunter's Gate. The main thing is the ultimate. This is what's going to do some massive physical damage and a lot of stun to the target, and also give you Hunter's Gate and the quick assist. Now, for her other skills like her basic and heavy attack, on top of her dash attack and dodge counters, those don't really matter. The main thing is being able to trigger these abilities with her core passive, so then we can switch to the next character. Mainly because of her special attack, Rending Claw Nightmare Shadow. Again, this is the off-field attack. While Pulchra is in the Hunter's Gate state and your active character hits an enemy with either the special or an X special attack, that's when she starts dashing back and forth off-field. And it's very easy to see when you trigger because you'll see fire show up on the screen. Once you've activated her off-field attacks, if another active character in the squad hits an enemy, Pulchra will repeat the attack up to 5 additional times, with the final attack being a more powerful finishing move, and these attacks are considered Aftershock damage. If you're confused about the term Aftershock, don't worry, it's a new special damage type that came in with the 1.6 update. It's essentially off-field damage, and the only characters that can perform it at the moment are Soldier Zero s-anby, Pulchra, and Trigger. And coming back to the core skills, under her additional ability, Business Partner, as long as your squad has an attack character or a character of the same faction, when Pulchra hits enemies with either her special attack, Rending Claw, Nightmare Shadow, which is the off-field attacks, an X special attack, assist follow-up, chain attack, or an ultimate, which I'll give you the quick assist, right? It applies the Binding Trap effect for 15 seconds. After applying Binding Trap, all units' Aftershock damage against the target is increased by 30%. So this means she's going to work extremely well with Soldier Zero s-anby and Trigger. I know I covered a lot of terms and information under the skills, but just as a general how to play Pulchra and her damage rotation, it's really easy. Number 1, enter the Hunter's Gait state. Like I said, all you have to do is either use the X special attack if you have energy, you perform the assist follow-up after the evasive assist, so if there's a dodgeable attack, you switch to Pulchra, just attack with Pulchra, then proc the quick assist to the next character, you're good. The chain attack will do it, and the ultimate. The ultimate is pretty much guaranteed damage, guaranteed daze, and also the guaranteed Hunter's Gait stacks. And for number 2, the easy part, use her quick assist to switch back to your main DPS character, and whenever you're ready, be sure to use your special or X special attack to proc Pulchra to start doing that off-field damage. It's really easy, and I really like Soldier Zero s-anby. If you guys didn't watch my previous, build guide and kit breakdown of her, I would recommend watching that video because this team is a lot better than I thought, and the Aftershock damage plus the bonus with Pulchra is just insane. As a stun character, she feels extremely unique because you don't have to have her actively on the field to be able to take advantage of her kit, which I find kind of insane. I didn't think ZZZ would add a character like this, and like I said, Trigger's going to be able to do the same thing, but at an S rank level, so I'm very excited for her to come out too. For Pulchra's best W engine options, your best bet is her signature Box Cutter. I know it's an A rank engine, but hear me out. You do get a base attack and an impact percentage bump, but its perk, Watch Your Fingers, is the important part. So upon launching an Aftershock, which he does off-field, the equipper's physical damage increases by 24% and the daze increases by 16%. So those are just good general bonuses for Pulchra. If you wanted an S-rank engine option, Coletta's signature Hellfire Gears is pretty good. You get a base attack and an impact percentage bump, and with this perk, Passionate Construction, while off-field, the equipper gets energy regen per second. Note this is at rank 1, so it's 0.6 per second. When using an X special attack, the equipper's impact is increased by 10% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. Again, since we're going to be using that X special attack to enter Hunter's Gate and then have the quick assist, being able to have the increased impact is going to be decent. If you don't have those 2 engines, don't worry, there are 2 other A-rank engines you can use. The first one being 6-shooter from the Battle Pass. You get a base attack and an impact percentage bump, and with this perk Fire, the equipper gains 1 charge stack every 3 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. When launching an X special attack, it consumes all charge stacks, and each stack consumed increases the skill's daze inflicted by a percentage. And the last engine being Precious Fossilized Core, where you get a base attack and an impact percentage bump, and with this perk Behemoth Hunter, when the target's HP is no lower than 50%, the equipper inflicts 16% more daze to the target, and if it's no lower than 75%, that percentage increases. For Pulchra's best drive disc, we're looking at 4-piece Shadow Harmony, which is the new set with the 1.6 update, with either 2-piece Shockstar Disco or 2-piece Woodpecker Electro. With Soldier Zero s-anby, Pulchra, and Trigger, we definitely want to take advantage of this new set because at 2 pieces, the damage of Aftershocks and dash attacks is increased at 15%, and at 4 pieces, upon hitting an enemy with an Aftershock or a dash attack, if the damage dealt aligns with the equipper's attribute, the equipper gains 1 stack of a buff effect at the most once per use of the skill. For each stack, the equipper's attack increases by 4% and the crit rate increases by 4%. This effect can stack up to 3 times and lasts for 15 seconds, which means we can get a 12% bump to our attack and our crit rate. And again, since Pulchra is off field and her physical attacks are considered Aftershock, that aligns with her damage type, so this will work for her. With 2-piece Shockstar Disco, you get the 6% increase to impact, so that's pretty good for her. Or if you're looking for her attacks to do a little more damage, I would do Woodpecker Electro because you get an 8% increase to your crit rate. For our drive disc main stats, at the 4th disc, we're looking for crit rate, at the 5th, physical damage, and for the 6th, impact. And for our substats, we're looking at crit damage, crit rate, and any attack that we can get. For Pulchra's best team options, if you're free to play, pairing her up with Nicole and Billy with the Bagboo is pretty good. Again, make sure to have your attack character in front of Pulchra so the team lineup looking like this is good, or like this. Even switching out Billy for someone like Corrin as well would work, considering her X special attack, you know, the Saw, is really good. Plus, you can activate her additional ability, which lets her do more damage to stun targets. If you're looking for a generalist team, pairing Pulchra up with Astra in Soldier Zero Ambi with the Nightboo is your strongest option. Astra being able to launch more quick assists, being able to buff the team, on top of Nightboo being able to provide the attack buff on field. All you have to do is pick it up. And then, you know, the bonus Aftershock damage that Pulchra and Soldier Zero Ambi are going to do is absolutely disgusting. I scored like 34,000 points with this team in Deadly Assault. It was insane. Now, in my opinion, I might replace Astra when Trigger comes out just to test out this team strictly for the Aftershock stuff. But if you don't have Astra, you do have 3 other options. You could sub in someone like Caesar for the defense, the attack buff, and she kind of subs in as a stunner. With someone like Rena being able to buff the party's pen ratio and electric characters for someone like Soldier Zero Ambi. Or having Lucy in there as well, since she lines up with Pulchra with the same faction, that would work too. These are just some of the best teams, but like I said, take note, she can work with any attack character, so as long as you line up the 3rd character to match up all the additional abilities so you get all the bonuses, you're good to go. So even characters like Nekomata, Zhu Yuan, Haramasa, Ellen, and Evelyn can all have potential teams. It just works out better when you have Soldier Zero Ambi because of the Aftershocks. The last thing I want to talk about is Pulchra's Mindscape Cinema and if it's worth getting multiple copies of her. Her M1, Self-Interest. When dealing damage to enemies affected by Binding Trap, which is her additional ability, she gets a 10% crit rate increase. Her M2, Opportunistic. While in the Hunter's Gait state from core passive Hunter's Instinct, Pulchra's attack is increased by an additional 10%. Her M3, Territorial, gives the +2 level bump to all of her skills. M4, Joy of the Hunt. It reduces the energy cost of activating her X special attack by 5. Her M5, Tail Game, gives another +2 level bump to her skills. And lastly, M6, Behind the Mask. Her off-field special attack damage is increased by 15%, and the number of times the repeated attack and trigger is increased by 2. So instead of 6 attacks, it's now 8 off-field attacks. And her additional ability, Binding Trap Effect, now also applies to all damage types, not just Aftershock damage. Since she's an A-rank character, getting the multiple copies of her is pretty easy, so I think it's totally worth getting her up to M6. M1 is literally a free 10% crit rate bump, so on top of the Shadow Harmony set giving another 12%, that's a 22% crit rate bump that you can give to Pulchra. Her M2 and M4 are, you know, good quality of life stuff. Again, you get the small attack buff while you have Hunter's Gate, you use less energy for the X special attack. That's cool. The M6 is the thing that I like, because not only does the X special attack gets a damage increase, but her additional ability allows you to pretty much be viable for all the other team comps that I mentioned that don't have the Aftershock. For my final thoughts and just a little bit of story time, if you missed out on stream, if you missed out on my Soldier Zero Ambi video, which I would recommend checking out, I told myself I don't need Soldier Zero Ambi. Pulchra's cool, and I kind of wanted to get her M6, and I definitely want Trigger. I was at 0 pity for both the character and the engine. Now granted, I was guaranteed for the character and not the engine, so I'm doing my 10 pulls on Soldier Zero Ambi's banner because I already have Bernice M1. And you know, I'm getting a couple of my Pulchra copies, which is really nice. And I'm like, you know what? Let's get some of her engine copies as well. And of course, I'm at 0 pity. I do a 10 pull. Boom. S-rank engine. I'm not guaranteed. I'm like, okay, I just lost the 75-25. Nope. Of course, I get Soldier Zero Ambi's engine. So at that point, I was all in. So by the time I got Soldier Zero Ambi, I was already down to like, you know, 60, 70 pity. We already got her. We got Pulchra M5. We got the free copy. I made her M6. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pleasantly surprised with this team. Like I said, there's definitely gonna be some testing and some gameplay I'm gonna be putting out when Trigger comes out, because I think all the off-field stun and damage multipliers are gonna be kind of insane for some activities. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my Pulchra build guide and kit breakdown. Let me know in the comments, are you pulling for Soldier Zero Ambi or Bernice? Bernice is very good. Or are you doing what I did and just want to get my pulls in so I can get Pulchra and save my Polychrome for future characters like Trigger? And we also have Vivian coming out next update. She's going to be Ether Anomaly. We have Hugo coming out, another Ice Attack character with the potential to have Vital View as a part of his skill set. So that might be pretty sick. In any event, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on any other Zenless Zone Zero content we have coming out on the channel. If you didn't know, we live stream here on the channel and also over on Twitch. That link will be in the description. There are drops occasionally for Zenless Zone Zero, so if you want some extra Polychrome and some other rewards, be sure to tune in to the stream. Also, be sure to join my Discord. If you got a great stat roll, if you have a good build going for a character, if you have a clip you want to share, we have an entire channel dedicated to Zenless Zone Zero. video, but we also talk about a variety of other games on top of PC tech, anime, and more. Lastly, if you want to help support the channel even more, you can look into becoming a member. Now, if you don't know what a membership is, it's essentially like a Twitch subscription. Granted, it's cheaper over here on YouTube, but you're going to get access to the exclusive emotes, the monthly badges, and other cool stuff, including early access to all my long-form videos. So if you'd like more information, all you have to do is press the join button next subscribe, and that'll give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in the next video.